In this video, I'll be showing how Windows Admin Center can be used to create a stretch cluster as well as stretch volumes, and then finally show how the stretch cluster can tolerate a complete site failover. So I'll log into my Windows Admin Center machine. This is it right here. And then also I'll give some background. I have 4 servers. 2 of these servers are in one rack on a 10.4.7 subnet, and I have 2 other servers in a separate rack in a 10.3.7 subnet. This is to simulate 2 separate sites, which I have named California and Nevada. So the first thing we're going to need to do is add all of these servers into Windows Admin Center so we can manage everything from there. And I already have these all joined to the same domain. So first things first, we'll add the 4 servers. You need to choose Azure Stack HCI for the stretch cluster. And I have 2 separate sites. The first page shows basically the prerequisites needed for creating a stretch cluster, so we can proceed. And then we'll add our 4 servers. As I mentioned before, these servers are already joined to the domain, so they are ready. We can proceed. And for the sake of time, I also installed the features and roles as well as the updates necessary. So these are the roles and features that you need for a stretch cluster. Every node has them installed. So I can proceed to click Next. Click Next. We can skip this part. And I didn't install any roles and features or updates, so I won't need to reboot any of the servers, so I can proceed to the networking. This tab is basically showing the network adapters that are found on each server. I need to select the management network interface for each server. All right. For this networking, we have to define the IPs. So as for best practice, we want 2 storage networks on 2 separate subnets. So I'll go ahead and enter those. Set jumbo packets. Apply and test. Next, Windows Admin Center is going to create a virtual switch. We can proceed to the clustering tab. This page is going to validate the cluster. There are a few warnings. We can download the report and check the warnings. These are expected warnings since I have two nodes directly attached to each other, end to end. And this one simply stating that some updates are missing. This one can safely ignore for now. So we can proceed to the next step, which is going to create the cluster. I'll go ahead and name it. Okay, we're almost there. So my first site is going to be Nevada. My second site is California. Next, Windows Admin Center is going to clean the drives of the servers to be prepared to cluster all the drives together. So each server has 7 spinning hard drives as well as 2 NVMe cache drives. They are consistent across all 4 nodes. Click Next, and then Enable. We have successfully enabled storage spaces direct. So click Finish, and you will now see the stretch cluster. Here are the two sites. Two separate pools. You'll see the cluster performance history, volume, as well as its log. And shortly, the other replicated volume should show up for California. And there are the other two volumes. So once you have the stretch cluster, you're going to want to create your storage. And this is where you will do it. Under volumes, create. So we're going to replicate across two sites. You could choose asynchronous or synchronous. And then the size. 5 terabytes. As you can see here, the CSV volume was successfully created, as well as the replicated volumes on the California side. I'll demonstrate a quick replication. So this is Nevada, this is California. I have an ISO. So you can see it appears in both volumes instantly. Next, we'll show how we can take down both nodes at a site and still have running production running. So I'll create some test VMs. So here are the cluster performance volumes that are synced. So far, that newly created volume that I have replicated from Nevada to California is only at 3% synced. So for this failover test, we'll need to create some test VMs. I'm going to place the VM's storage in the volume I created to replicate. Now we can show the status of the storage replica, both to be healthy. We have Nevada syncing to California at the destination. I have the VMs created, and we will try to do a site failover. Now that I have both VMs created, we will shut down one site, and the VM should be up and running at the second location. So these are running at the Nevada site on NV-N2. Double check that the storage replica partnership is healthy. So we have the two VMs running, and I will shut down both the servers at the Nevada location. Okay, both hosts are turned off. After shutting down both servers at the Nevada site, you can see that it cannot contact either of the nodes from that site. It shows both as down, and the only ones that are up are the two nodes at the California site. The volumes are now running at the California site. They're all online. And finally, the two VMs were automatically spun up on the other location.